Victory in overtime for the Boston Bruins tonight. They downed Columbus 3-2 on a beautiful goal from Charlie Coyle. Justin, did you hear he's from Weymouth?
I think we've all heard that at some point this season. Charlie Coyle with an absolutely magnificent finish on a Marcus Johansson pass in overtime to lift the Bruins to this big win tonight.
Before I got the puck, I already saw Charlie going backdoor, so it was just kind of a quick play, one of those you don't really think, you just do it, and it was fun to see them win.
I want to start off by just discussing the role that Coyle stepped into this postseason. Where do you see him kind of coming into this team?
Well, Charlie Coyle was a midseason acquisition, and at the time, fans here kind of lambasted Don Sweeney a little bit for bringing him in. He wasn't producing the goals that they wanted him to produce, but he's been a third-line plugger for them, and he's really been an energy guy, and he's being rewarded in these playoffs. He's really coming into his own as a scorer for these Bruins in these playoffs, and he's showing why Don Sweeney went out and got him.
It seemed like from the jump in this game that the Bruins came out flying around. They were really high energy, whereas the Blue Jackets looked like they had been on vacation and weren't quite ready to get back on the ice.
You kind of got what you expected in the first period. That second period, you saw the Blue Jackets kind of get back into it, but Tuukka was strong in that second period to keep them back and keep that at a 1-0 game. But the first period, you kind of expected. There was a little bit of rust there for the Blue Jackets, but at the same time, they fought through that and made it a much better game throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets came back in, scored those two quick goals. We talked to a couple of the Bruins players in the locker room after, and they said that they really didn't get shook up at that point.
I watched their first game in Tampa, and they're not going to quit if it's 3-0, 4-0, 2-0, 1-0. So good for them, but we found a way to win.
There's nothing that faces us. I think we, the way we stepped up after they scored their two goals and came back, and we never give up.
My question is, great having Coyle score these two goals, but where is the starting line for the Bruins? I mean, what is going on? When are we going to see these big goals from the names that everybody knows?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's pretty good for the Bruins that they're winning without them.
Right.
That's certainly a big thing. David Pastrnak continues to look a little out of sorts. He just doesn't seem like he's right, and I don't know what the answer is to that. The other guys, they're doing what they need to do, though. They're playing against the best, and that's the other thing about Columbus is their defense is better than the Toronto defense that the Bruins faced, and so they had a better top-line defensive pair out against Marchand and Bergeron. You saw a little bit of movement in the third period and in the overtime. Bruce Cassidy went back to putting Danton Heinen on that third line with Coyle and Johansson. It looks like he was going to start to put them back together, that top line with Pastrnak in the overtime. Didn't need to get that far, obviously, because that third line, so-called third line, did the job that it needed to do there in the overtime.
Justin, thanks for joining me again tonight. And Bruins Game 2 is back here at TD Garden against the Blue Jackets at 8 p.m. You can stay up to date with all Bruins news and analysis at bostonherald.com.